Hello, online Math D students. I'd like to walk through the syllabus with you just to make sure that you've seen the highlights. So my name again is Debbie Hill. This is Online Math D. Here's the CRN, the CR College course code. Here are my email addresses, the class website, the course ID. It's in several places to try and make it easy for you to find it. The math department has a website that's math.sierracollege.edu, and this is where you can go to see what their hours are, and there's student tutors available, and it's a great place to go work in study groups if you can make that happen. The online tech support site the link is here, and you can ask questions in a live chat, browse their FAQs, email them, or talk to a live person by phone. But I will warn you that sometimes you have to wait on the phone a long time. So hopefully we won't have technical issues. But please know that I'm a math instructor and I know how to use the software, but I'm definitely not a computer scientist. So I can't necessarily help solve technical issues. In fact, my best tricks are close and reopen the browser, restart the machine, and if those don't work, I'm kind of out of ideas. Maybe try a different browser. So the program seems to work the best for me in Firefox. Other people find it works best in Google Chrome, or if you use Safari, it works in all of those web browsers. It just seems to work better in some than in others. So the textbook we're going to use is called Introductory Algebra by Blitzer, and as covered in other places, but just to remind you, you can either go to the campus bookstore and get access to the software with softcover book included, and the softcover book's only about $20 if you do it that way, or you can go online and just get access to the software, and there's a digital book included. If something changes in the first 2 weeks and you've ordered it online, you can get a refund from the publisher, but if you buy it at the bookstore, you can't get your money back once you've opened the packaging. So there is an option to get 14 days free. If you don't have money to pay for the software, please use this 14 days of free temporary access so that you can get started right away. Students who don't get started right away have just a really hard time getting caught up. The class goes really quickly. So you'll see this option at the bottom of the registration screen where payment's being requested. If you've used my MATLAB before, please use your same username and password. And if you use my MATLAB for Math D, you shouldn't have to pay for access, and let me know if you need help with that, because sometimes that doesn't just happen easily. So again, the course ID, when you sign up in my MATLAB, there is a prerequisite for the course of Math A. If you don't meet the prerequisite, you won't be able to add the course, and I have no control over that. Only counselors can override that. And in fact, if I give you an add code and you don't meet the prerequisite, we will have wasted the add code. So please make sure that you've met the prerequisite before you ask for an add code so that we can make sure you will actually get added to the class. You can send me a screen print of your MySierra transcript or your assessment results, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be a formal official transcript. This yellow box is very important. It's your responsibility to make sure you have the internet access you need to complete assignments by the due dates. I suggest you have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. I would have, my mom, my sister, my PC, my laptop. Just make sure that you have a plan, because things often seem to go haywire just when you need them the most. So please plan ahead and have backup plans. There's lots of computers on campus, but the campus is closed on Fridays and weekends during the summer. If this is your first time in an online learning environment, you'll notice it's very different because you're expected to do all of the work on your own, and I'm just available to help. I'm not really instructing you. The software provides you with the instruction. So your job is to do all of the work, ask lots of questions, get help when you need it. And you might find that it's a lot of work because it's all active learning. If you're sitting in a classroom, then often there's downtime where you're thinking about something else, or you finish working on a problem before everybody else. And so you have time when you're not actually working, whereas all of your online time is work time. So you really need to be self-disciplined, even if the material is difficult for you. So I'm really available for support and encouragement and answering questions. I can't make you do the work, so that's the part you have to do. Whenever you have a question, please do contact me. I love answering questions. You're not bothering me, and I really, really want to help you be successful in the class. So how to decide if the class is a good fit? If you're an independent learner and you're really self-motivated, you're good at reading, because there's a lot of reading, and good at managing your time, chances are you'll be successful. But if you really do better with a real teacher in front of a classroom, or if time management is a problem, this might not be the best class for you. And do know that my colleagues design their courses differently. We don't have rules for how we do it. So some of them have all the assignments for a week due at the end of the week. I have daily deadlines, so if that's not going to work for you, you might want to switch to one of the other sections. We're all really good about adding people to try and make sure they get in the course that's going to work the best for them. So there's a link here, online readiness, and there's some readiness assessment tools and some really helpful resources on that page. Attendance and participation. So even though it's an online class, there are expectations about how much work you're going to do. I do expect you to log into the discussion board at least twice a week. And then you need to be in my math lab working for a minimum of 24 to 30 hours per week. This is the average amount of time for an average student to get an average grade. So you may need to adjust upward or downward depending upon your situation. This red box is super important. If you don't make progress in my math lab for 4 days and you don't contact me, I may drop you for non-attendance. It's actually my responsibility to do what's called cleaning up my roll, where I have students who aren't actually attending get dropped off of the roster. All the homework's done online. There are due dates for homework, but you can work on homework after the due date for 75% credit. That's not the case for quizzes. They have deadlines. So they all say due dates in my math lab. There's no way for me to change that. So I'm just trying to impress upon you that quizzes have deadlines. They die after their deadlines. And homework has due dates. You can keep working on them after the due date for 75% credit. If you wait until the due date to begin working, I often see students have a hard time getting all the work completed by the deadline, so I would suggest that you work ahead of the due dates. Some of the homework assignments require you to submit handwritten work. I made an Intro to Canvas video with more details about that. These are the assignments that are named graphs for section, whatever section. And the graphs need to be done on graph paper using a straight edge, and I am very particular about that. So just do that ahead of time, and then you won't get your graphs returned with suggestions for improvement. So you upload your work into Canvas. Scanning or using your phone. If you do make photos, please make sure they're clear and well lit so I can read them easily. And I need to receive them by the due date to give you full credit. But you can still submit them after, again, for 75% credit. The mini quizzes that follow each homework assignment are online. And after you finish a quiz, you can go to button number 6 and review all quizzes and mini quizzes so you can see what errors you've made. Please take advantage of that opportunity to give yourself feedback on what you did well and what you need more work on. And then use that information to take the mini quiz again. You can take it as many times as you like. So why not go for 100% on all of your homeworks, mini quizzes, and quizzes? You get to do them as much as you want. So the only limiting variable is the amount of time that you have. So make sure you allow yourself enough time to do your best. So the mini quizzes turn off at 11:59 p.m. on their due date, and whether or not you finished. So plan ahead so you don't run out of time, because it will cut you off. Then there are practice mini quizzes if for some reason you don't get to the mini quiz, and they're down towards the bottom of the assignment list, and they don't count toward your grade. They're just available to you as a tool. Then there are the twice weekly numbered quizzes. These are more cumulative quizzes on several sections so that you can quiz yourself and make sure you're getting a good foundation of learning. And there are ungraded practice quizzes you can use if you like. They don't count towards your grade. You can take the actual quizzes as many times as you like. They turn off after the due date, so that's why there are the practice quizzes, so that you still have access to the questions and the review cycle. Only the best score gets recorded in the grade book. So again, please go to button 6 and review after you've taken a quiz before you take it again so you can see how to improve your score. And all of the help features are available when you're reviewing quizzes. Again, the deadlines for quizzes are strict due dates. and they're all at 11:59 Pacific Daylight Time, and the quizzes stop at 11:59 even if you haven't finished. So please make sure to give yourself plenty of time. I would suggest taking it the first time at least 1 or 2 days before the due date so that you have time to actually show me what you've learned. So you can use your text, notes, or online resources, but not other people to assist you on quizzes. There will be a written midterm exam. I will post it in Canvas. You will copy the problems onto paper and do the work and then submit it back into Canvas. It will be available for the week of July 8th through July 15th, and no late papers will be accepted. That midterm is 30% of your grade, so please plan to spend lots of extra time that week working on it and make sure it's really well done. The final exam will be done in the same sort of way. It will be in Canvas. You'll copy the problems onto paper, work them out. Know that even if you are using resources to help you, you have to show all of your work to get full credit for a problem. So the final exam will be available the last week of class and has to be done by August 3rd. And again, no late papers will be accepted. And do know this 11:59:00 is significant. Canvas cuts off at 11:59:00. If you try to submit it at 11:59:10, it will tell you it's too late. So the discussion boards I went into in more detail on the My Math Lab intro video. So please take your time and make some thoughtful posts and get to know your classmates. And you can post to the discussion board up to a week late for 75% credit, but after that a score of 0 will be entered. If you don't have a calculator, I recommend a Texas Instruments TI-30X2S if you don't already have one. If you already have one, just use the one you have, but this is a really good basic calculator, very inexpensive, about $11. So here's the grading policy. There's 46 mini quizzes. Each one's only about 0.1% each for a total of 5% for all of the mini quizzes. So you can see they're not worth a whole lot. So don't stress about them. Use them as a tool. The homework and discussion boards are 15% of the grade. But again, there's 46 homework assignments and 8 discussion boards. So it's a lot of assignments contributing to the 15%. So they are low stakes. Whereas the 14 quizzes, the twice weekly quizzes, are worth about 1% each, and they're 15% total, so they are worth a lot more than the homework, discussion boards, and mini quizzes. Then the midterms 30%, and the final 35%. So the grades are the traditional 90% and up is an A, 80 to 89, 70, 79, and so on, and I don't round, so please don't ask me to. Then I have some suggestions here. I'll let you read through them. Please don't stay lost. Contact me, go to the tutor center, call a friend, go to tutor.com in Canvas. This is important to me that I've written this from my heart. Knowledge doesn't just come. You have to work for it. Struggling is part of the learning process. You never know if the next minute you spend struggling will be that aha moment that you've been hoping for. So don't give up. It will come if you give it enough time. So then I have a lot of resources listed here. The Title IX policy, know that I'm a mandated reporter. So if you don't want me to report something, please just let me know that you have an issue and need to talk to somebody. And I have contact information for confidential employees who don't have reporting responsibilities so that you can talk with them and figure out what to do next. The course outcomes are here. This is what you need to be able to do by the end of the class. And then these are a couple of graphics that I've created just to try and give you a better idea of what's the most important thing. So the final exam, 35%, midterm, 30%, homework is 15%, and quizzes 15%. And the mini quizzes are 5% of the total. And then here is twice weekly quizzes, homework, and mini quizzes, so you can see how they rank relative to each other. The weekly quizzes are worth 5 times as much as homework, and each homework is worth twice as much as a mini quiz. So please take that into account when you're deciding how to spend your time in the class.